Stop the press! Royal family members confirm their attendance at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's major event next month. Royal family members, Harry and Meghan. My God, have they all made up? Were the last 5 years just a bad dream? Sadly not. I hate to disappoint you. It is members of the Danish royal family, Prince Joachim and his wife, Princess Marie, who are to attend Harry's Invictus Games, one of the diminishing elements of Harry's creaking legacy. Now, the Danish royals are all the Sussexes have these days for a bit of much-needed stardust, as their band of celebrity supporters continues to diminish. Whatever happened to Oprah, George Clooney and the Obamas? Harry and Meghan now have to make do with the B team, a couple of clapped-out old Danish aristocrats who don't even live in Denmark anymore, having moved to Washington, D.C. in 2023. Well, at least they've got that in common. They can compare what it's like to be an exiled, irrelevant royal. Now, the Invictus Games are fantastic, honouring war veterans who have rebuilt their lives, rebuilt their bodies, and gone on to sporting greatness. But it's very sad and it's very telling that this is pretty much all Harry has got these days. He's done the podcasts, the tell-all Netflix documentary in which his wife Meghan humiliated the memory of Queen Elizabeth with her fake curtsy. Do you remember the kind of outrageous? And of course, Harry has written his misery memoir, Spare, which I had the misery of reading so that you don't have to. The best thing I can say about that tedious book is that it's excellent at propping up the door in my spare bedroom. Eventually, I'll use it for firewood when net zero leaves me shivering in my living room. Why doesn't Harry have more projects on the go? This is the King's son. He's an outstanding polo player, a borderline athlete back in the day, a humanitarian like his late mother, and he has served in the armed forces. There was so much more that this guy could do, so much that was mapped out for him as the most popular British royal back in the day, before Yoko Ono herself turned up on the scene and inspired him to turn his back on his royal duties, on his family and his country. Thanks to Meghan, Harry hasn't got his brother, he doesn't have his dad, he doesn't have his once adoring British public, he hasn't got his military pals, having placed a target on their back with his boasts about killing the Taliban in the aforementioned book, and Harry hasn't even got a job. And in my view, it's because she won't let him. This won't be overt, of course. She won't have said it in as many words, but Meghan Markle is a very determined person and a very controlling individual. You can see it in their body language when they're out together. It's not so much a marriage as a hostage situation. Free Harry! When's the campaign going to start? Yes, folks, forget about an intervention from family or friends. It's going to take a SWAT team to eventually get Harry out of that Montecito mansion, a gilded cage boasting 16 bathrooms, which is no bad thing, by the way, considering how much crap this couple are responsible for. It's easy to forget that Harry is a man, not a boy. He's one of the most famous men in the world, and whilst I'm horrified that he threw his family and his country under the bus to make a fast buck, he does have the right to work, to make something of his life, and to make a positive contribution. He deserves a career, but at the moment, he's just a bag carrier to that old bag who calls the shots. Don't take my word for it. Before their wedding, Harry was heard saying to an official, Meghan gets what Meghan wants. And it seems to be that what she wants now is an emasculated personal assistant as she plots the next stage in her master plan for global domination. Now, I don't want to be too hard on Meghan Markle. Yes, she's a social climbing manipulator who gets through an alarming number of staff because she makes their lives so miserable, allegedly. Yes, she has an intermittent relationship with the truth, having lied in the Oprah interview that she married the day before their wedding, something instantly dismissed by the Archbishop of Canterbury. But here's my point. You will always have people like Meghan Markle. It is what it is. More fool Harry for being taken in. His libido, his neediness, and his poor judgment look to be costing him dear. Now, Meghan Markle is a beautiful young woman, and she identified a broken, damaged young man when they first met. Someone who, in spite of his wealth and position, needed a surrogate mother figure. having buried his own mother at the tender age of 12. Now, I know that being a husband and a loving father, which he undoubtedly is a vocation in its own right, absolutely. But Harry is just 40 years of age, hopefully in the middle of a rich and fulfilling life. He hasn't even peaked yet. I mean, I'm 50 and I'm still waiting for the peak. But still, a young man like Harry could be mirroring the amazing work of his late mother, Diana, who was so good at connecting with ordinary people. He could protect and indeed revive her legacy. He could be Diana 2.0. Would Diana want Harry to have the current life that he has chosen? Whilst she had issues with the royal family herself, she had huge admiration for the Queen and Prince Philip, and she respected the institution and she loved her country. She was discreet and she was very decent about the whole thing. And it was only the wicked BBC and a lying journalist that led to her record that devastating interview in which she discussed Charles's adultery. It's my view that Diana would be devastated if she could see what her own son has become, particularly given the contrast with her other son, William, who has a beautiful wife, who has battled illness. They've got beautiful children. And of course, William is a beloved figure in his own country, a man with almost daily contact with his father, Charles, a man who in due course will become King of the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, Harry is hanging out with obscure Scandinavian royals who are barely distinguishable from the cashiers at the Montecito branch of Whole Foods. Harry has got so much more that he could do. But will he do it? So much more to offer, but will he offer it? I'm deeply worried that what so far has been a painful life may ultimately be a wasted one. Thank you for watching. Now, the Mark Dolan Show is the home of big royal exclusives, top stories, plenty of gossip, and an absolute shed-load of opinion. So you don't want to miss any of it. So what you've got to do is you've got to subscribe to the Mark Dolan Show on YouTube and hit that notification bell, because I'll be doing emergency monologues when anything happens. Harry and Meghan, King Charles, William, Catherine, you name it. Plus, by the way, I've got a Substack. So if you want long-form interviews, let's imagine that I've spoken to a top royal author or editor, well, 10 minutes will go on YouTube, but the full half hour will go onto my Substack. That's right. So just head to markdolan.com for more deep dives into the wonderful, fabulous world of the royals.